Let's ask former Detroit police chief and Michigan gubernatorial candidate James Craig and Pastor Corey B. Brooks, senior pastor of New Beginnings Church in Chicago. Pastor Brooks, Chief, thanks so much for joining me. Been a tough year.
Thank you, Lawrence.
I had you on, Pastor, before New Year's, and we predicted that it was going to go a little bit like this. So is there any hope that the mayor, the chief, the DA can turn this thing around?
You know, we've always said that any depending on government is always going to lead us to a dead end. I'm not depending on government to fix our problems in our neighborhood. It's going to take us with a grassroots effort and individuals who are in our community to turn this around. It's unfortunate that we cannot depend on our leadership. It's unfortunate that we keep having these same issues that we're faced with every single day in the city of Chicago. And we have to do something about it, especially when it comes to dealing with the lives of our young people who are being shot and killed. Too many kids are being shot. Too many kids are being killed.
So true. Chief, I hate, like the pastor, putting my faith in government's hand. I really do, because they rarely get things right. But they do have a role when it comes to public safety. And I've already seen a different tone shift with the new mayor, a former cop in New York City, saying that the criminals can't run the street. So do you think that it's important for there to be a tone shift first before we can see progress in America's cities?
You know, Lawrence, first let me just start out by saying Happy New Year to you. I always enjoy being on your show. I want to applaud the pastor who has done so much tremendous work in Chicago. But let me just say this. I'm excited about the new mayor, but he has a challenge. And let me tell you what the challenge is, Lawrence. One, he's got a progressive DA, district attorney. He's got several members of his city council progressives. And in my estimation, he's going to have a tough go at it because they have another agenda. Bail reform, that's what they want, de-incarceration. And so when you look at those issues and defund the police, of course, he's going to have to use his bully pulpit to speak out in a loud voice, one, to support the men and women who are doing the job right. I appreciate what he said on his day one speech about bringing the anti-crime unit back. But what good is that? You go out and you make the arrest, right, take violent offenders into custody when you have a progressive DA that says we're not going to charge. It doesn't work. And so we have to stand up. And the best way to do this, and I'll talk about Chicago, New York has got, it appears, the right person in the seat. It has to be individuals who are going to stand up and fight for the people who are truly victims, not victimize violent criminals. That's what we see going on in America. We've got to do it that way, Lawrence.
You know, Pastor, the chief makes a good point. And it seems like there's always this conflict when it comes to public safety and equal justice under the law and civil liberties. So when civil liberties are violated, I'll be the first person to talk about that. But we're not seeing that the majority of the time. We're seeing straight up anarchy in the cities across America. It's not just Chicago. I mean, it's leading the way, but it's happening everywhere, Pastor.
Yes, we're experiencing rampant, unharnessed lawlessness all across the city of Chicago, in every part of Chicago. It started off, as some thought, just going to be in these impoverished areas, but they soon found out that violence and crime moves into other areas that normally don't have them, like Magnificent Mile and up north. And that's what we're experiencing in Chicago. And part of that is because we're not being hard on criminals. We're not being hard on those who are breaking the law. We have to make sure that those who break the law get penalized for breaking it. And if we don't, we're going to continue to see the same lawlessness that we've been experiencing for years and this past year at record levels.
Yeah. They've let people all across the country just lose their minds with no consequences. All the talk about criminal justice reform, I'm there when justice needs to be reformed. But when you have people that just running rampant, shooting people up, raping people, we got to do something about that. Chief, you've been out front on that. Pastor, you've been out front on that. We thank y'all for joining Primetime tonight.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lawrence.
You got it.
Appreciate it.